All right, now go to, like, where can you see, oh, go down here, the arrow next to mute. Leave computer audio. Or just stick it in your pocket.
Okay. Wait, I went back brave.
Mhm.
Okay.
Don't go too far. Good morning. Good to have everybody with us. Everybody hear me okay? Hopefully. Scott, you want me to go ahead and start? You've got a couple of announcements, correct? Use the mic, Scott.
Okay, Ned, I'm using the mic. So several announcements. Number one, if you've not yet signed up to go to the Kittrell lecture, please do that. It's on Thursday, November the 16th at 7:00 here. And the church is doing Sunday school classes on Arthur's book so that you can have some advanced learning on topic that he's going to address. So please participate in that. Second thing I've been asked to announce is don't forget that the annual Christmas market is the first Sunday in December, which is December the 3rd. And they are looking for volunteers to help at tables. They're looking for people who want to contribute items that might be sold. I know Ned Bishop has contributed things in the past. Reynolds has. Mr. Music will be baking cookies. So anything is welcome. Almost anything is welcome. You can contact Julie Hope to get clearance on what you might bring. And the last announcement I have is next week's speaker is Tony Brewer. Tony's a new member here at Trinity, and he's been to men's breakfast. He's got his name tag, so now it's his time to speak. And he'll be talking about things of the brain, how the brain works, and artistic ventures and those kinds of things. Tony is an artist as well as a neurologist and a bunch of other things. His resume is about 5 pages long. So come and hear Tony next week.
Thanks, Scott. Why don't we go ahead and open with a quick word of prayer? Holy God, we are just so grateful for the creation of this beautiful day. We ask that you help us to be the best version of ourselves in a world that needs love, peace, mercy, justice, and hope. Help us make a difference one day at a time, one relationship at a time. We ask your Holy Spirit be with us here today as we enjoy this fellowship together. We thank you for Sam Johnson in our midst, and we ask that you bless the work that he does in Guinea. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. I'm pleased to introduce Sam. As many of you have seen, there's a brochure about his work at My Vision for Refugees. His work is in the country of Guinea. And there's also an information sheet on ways you could help Sam if you felt motivated, or ways that you could stay connected with Sam's organization, again, if you felt called to do so. It's my pleasure to introduce Sam Johnson this morning. Sam is not a stranger to many of us. Trinity actually sponsored Sam and his siblings when they were granted asylum in the U.S. after living in a UN refugee camp in Guinea. They were refugees from the Civil War in Liberia. First met Sam at a men's breakfast here a number of years ago. His inspiring story, personal charisma, and commitment to providing a home, education, and hope to orphans in Guinea led me to support his organization, My Vision for Refugees, ever since. I'm proud and gratified to be able to serve on Sam's board, and I consider him a hero and a mentor to me. Sam comes back to the U.S. periodically to visit family, supporters, and to speak at churches and small groups like ours. We're also celebrating the 10-year anniversary of the establishment of My Vision and the Home of Hope in Guinea. Something Sam said to me last week ironically reminded me of our own commitment theme this year. he told me something to the effect that even though the world is messed up right now, we still have to do what we can to provide hope and a better future for these kids and for our community, regardless of the world. So to paraphrase Jeremiah 29, this is what the Lord Almighty says to all those I carried into exile. Build houses and settle down, plant gardens and eat what they produce. Seek the peace and prosperity of the city to which I carried you into exile. For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future. Sam Johnson. You want to speak before I play the video? Or you want to play
The video first.
Okay.
I was born in Liberia in 1989 with my family in a small village. I was about nine going to 10, and my village got attacked. We had to escape toward Guinea. So we walked to the border of Guinea, and then from there we were taken back to the refugee camp, where me and my siblings spent 9 years as refugees. We ended up applying for resettlement. So finally, in 2007, we were resettled to Atlanta. We told them all we want is go to school. You know, we'll do everything to get education. We know with education we'll be able to do a lot of good things in the world. So I focused on school and I graduated. By the grace of God, I was able to apply to Mercer and I got a scholarship to go there, play soccer and study. My senior year, I felt a little bit that I needed to go back. My heart was back in the village and in the camp. I really wanted to help. For me, that was one of the most heartbreaking things, to know that, you know, tomorrow someone might not be with us because of the simple thing, clean water or like food. So I just decided, I had money saved with me from work study on campus at Mercer. I just said, you know what, I need to do something now. I can't wait. So I went back. I got a local company. We came to dug well, you know, and then we provided the first clean water there in the village, in the camp. That was the starting point. And then I bought school supplies. I was playing soccer, so I started coaching the kids. For me, at that point, it was just like, wow, this is your calling. You need to follow this. From 2014 to now, we have been a center where we have these kids. They are going to school every day. We are helping them become leader of their own community. We have outreach programs. We serve the prison. We provide soap for the prisoners. You know, work with the widows. We visit the hospitals. It's a whole movement around the center. We find every month a problem in the community to fix. We have fixed the road. We work with the leprosy community. We have about 330 people with leprosies in that area. So we provide school supply for their kids because they cannot work. We hope to expand to be able to do one well a year because there's many villages that I visit with no water. And water is one of the essential things. In that area, there's so many orphans from the disease and the war. So we hope to keep helping orphans get to school. I think relationship is one of the essential tools that you need to build in order to make things happen. It took a whole village to get me where I am today. So it's also taking a whole village to get the kids where they need to be. When I go to the village, to the camp, there's a sense of hope. That's quite important for me. Hope can take you anywhere in life. And we could change the world, one loving act at a time. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm so glad to be here. I guess the reason why I'm so glad to be here is because I feel like, you know, Trinity Church had a lot to play in my life and growing up. You know, today when I'm coming back and what I've been through, it's a blessing to be here. I'm gonna go in detail with my story. I was born in 1989. 1999, the war started in my country. But it's 1999, the second layer of the war in Liberia, when I was affected. In the middle of the night, my mom had to wake us up because the rebels, they attacked my city, my village, and started killing people. And at that point, you know, we were scared to death. And my mom just stopped us and said, we have to go. So we ran outside in the back door and we just entered the forest, the rainforest. At that time, I was a 9-year-old. My sister Elizabeth was about, my sister Elizabeth was really young. And me, Carty, and Helena, my older sister, and my mom, we walked 7 days in the rainforest to get to safety. And that walk, we saw so many things. My mom got raped. My dad was killed in the war at that time. And we will walk at night in order to avoid the rebels and also in order to know what direction the gunshot is coming from. So we'll crawl for mile and mile. We'll sleep anywhere we could find that's safe, but we're left at the mercy with all the wild animal you could imagine in the rainforest. But in all this mess, God was protecting us. After the 7 days, we did cross the border and were received by the UNHCR. So that's the UNHCR. They're there just to place refugees somewhere. It's not the safest place, but it also have to be close to the border. So we were there and we spent 9 years there. And basically we had 1 meal a day, 2 at the most, and we lived there. And every day what I used to see is like, I would see my friend that I did hang out with them that night. The next day, they'll hang themselves. You'll see like a 12-year-old boy just hang himself because he did some things or he was forced to do some things. Or he saw the things that he didn't have to see. And every day that was our case. And some days we'll go without food because the roads, I mean, all the food that's been sent in by NGOs from Europe, from the state, will get to Conakry and they have to come to a big city and then have to go into a jungle where rainy season, there's no road. So you will spend a week with no food. So what do you have to do? You have to go find plantain, cassava, like some of the tropical fruits. That's what we used to go out and find. We used to hunt, fish, anything we could find to bring it home and then eat. And at that point, at some point during that period, 2002, the rebel, because we're not far away from Liberia, there was still war going on. The rebel crossed the border and they attacked the camp that we're in. So they took a lot of 9-year-olds on up to 15-year-old boys to go become a child soldier. And at that point, as a boy, I was very damaged because what I saw. So 1, I wanted to commit suicide. 2, I wanted to go back and take revenge because I wanted to go back and take revenge. And I also wanted to find my younger sister, Elizabeth's younger sister, whose name is Pauline, that we couldn't find her when we had to escape. But my mom was the foundation of who I am today. She kept telling me, God has a plan for you. Today you don't see, but tomorrow you will find out that he really have a plan for you. And I did doubt at that point. I usually told my mom, I don't think God exists. I don't even think your God exists because if he did, he would have not made you to go through all this thing that you're going through and the suffering that you're going through. At some point, I was really mad. I think one night we came from the forest, we brought some papaya, and I was upset. So she said, okay, think about all the things that happen in your life, all the bad things. Today is your time to take revenge. Take this papaya, this our machete, and lash all the anger that you have in you on the papaya. So I went on for, about 5 minutes. And after that, she told me, how you feel? Well, I didn't feel really anything. She should repeat to me, if you go back and take revenge, you will kill their law and you will never be the same. So from that day, I kept that experience in my head. And my mom always prayed in the morning, no matter what. And one of the things that I noticed that she live her life with, like she lead by example. So like we'll get like 2 bags of rice for a month, and then she would take that and give half of the bag of the rice. She would give it to someone else, and she's giving to who? The people we were fighting against. They are our enemy. So we all live in the same camp. But mom didn't care who was Muslim, who was Christian, or enemy. She would give food out. And that really, I mean, I was always arguing with her, why? You know, we don't know when the next food is coming. Why are we sharing our own? And we might have to go find something in the forest. But she said, that's the way to live your life. So as we move on, we decided to go in a big city because there was more opportunity there. And then as we got there, after a year, the Guinean government, because of we have different culture, it's English, we're English-speaking country, and that's French-speaking country. The way we dress and the way they dress completely, and Guinea is completely Muslim. It's almost like 80% Muslim. And we were Christian, so our behaviors are different. And that was bad. Now, we were called a rebel, and I was stateless. You know, if I say stateless, I didn't have any documentation. So I'm a rebel. As soon as you speak English, you are a rebel. So we were the bad, you know. Some of us got killed because of that. So the population put a sanction on Guinea, like on the government at that time. And they decided the president ordered at that time to send all the refugees out of the country within 24 hours. I mean, we were in the capital city. We couldn't leave. We didn't have money to get on a bus. So we were stuck there. And we got arrested and spent 7 days. At that time, I was 15, going to 16. We spent 7 days in jail until the UN put sanction on Guinea to release all the refugees. And my mom, going to jail, my mom fell on her stomach and was bleeding internally. After we got released from jail, she was not lucky. She went through a lot of operation. And the doctor that were taking care of her were Guineans, so they really didn't care. So when she passed away, the UN took our case in matter. We were orphans. We didn't want to go back to Liberia. It was not safe for us. And we didn't want to stay in Guinea because it definitely was not safe for us. So we were seeking for asylum. By the grace of God, we got asylum to come to Atlanta, the United States. Again, it's 1 out of 1,000 refugees that get resettled. So every 1,000 refugees, there's one person that might go somewhere. So we were that 1% that got to come to Atlanta. And when we got here, again, I started to realize what my mom was saying, that God has a plan for you, was here. And luckily, that's why I say, when I'm here, I don't feel I'm a stranger here. And this church was one of the churches that took care of us. 07. So when we came here as orphans, we were brought in by RISA, not New American Pathway. And they had a relationship with the Trinity Church at that time. So we were the sponsor of this church. So we came to this church. And then I went to Holy Innocent, all that it was a blessing. So God, what my mom said, that God had a part for me, this was it. God had a bigger plan for me, and my mom was the one keeping me to follow that plan, you know, to not lose hope. So as I graduated, I started to realize whatever my mom was saying, there's a good in this world. And we need to keep doing that, the good, so we can keep that light alive, even though there's a lot of mess around the world, but we have to carry that light around. So when I went to Mercer, I was playing soccer, I was happy. And I had so many people that they helped me. It took a whole community to make me who I am today. I didn't build myself like this. It took a church, it took people that they cook for me, for my family, people that came in and tutored me. A member from this church came to tutor me math. Today, they really don't know what I'm doing, but anywhere they are proud that they serve me something. They gave me something to go with it. So when I went to Mercer, I did play soccer, but there's one thing that was missing, because God was preparing me not to stay in the US. He was preparing me, equipping me with a tool to go back and lead my people. And when I say my people, it's those people in the camp. 2014, this camp was the most affected by deadly disease, Ebola, and I was there. So I had to flew back again. God say, I'm saving you. You're not gonna stay here. You need to go back there and get prepared again to return after to take care of these kids. So 2013, when I went back, I took 2012 as a junior. And the reason why I went back was what? I felt the guilt. And also, I felt called to go back to see what was going on. I got there at 5 p.m. and I saw what I was doing. 07, like what? 5 o'clock, we are bathing in the river. The women are washing the dishes. And that's the same water that we use to drink and we use as a bathroom. So that's the reason why we were getting sick a lot. So I decided to use my work study money to do the first clean water. And that was it. When I got on that plane to come back and graduate at Mercer, God had shown me what I needed to do. So as soon as I graduated, I went back and I had to come back and get prepared to go back. It was heartbreaking, but sometimes I feel like God can tell you this is a pause. You need to go back and come back with more energy. So after the Ebola, I went back and we opened Home of Hope. Right now, at this point, we have about 11 girls and 5 boys that live with us. They go to school, they eat, they have a boss, and they are dreaming big. And this program, we have a program called Outreach Program, where we work with the leprosy, the widows, the mosque, the church. We provide things that they need. So today, I'm going to talk a little bit about Exodus 17, the story of Moses. And this is the reason why I want to talk about this story a little bit, because when I read that story, I see myself. Sometimes we don't listen to God when He's calling us. And then when Moses was leading the Israelites, at some point they didn't listen to him. And at some point I really didn't listen to my mom. But at this point in that story, at some point you need to ask help. When Moses ordered Joshua to lead the fight, he needed someone to help him. And Aaron came to help him to hold the staff in order for the Israelites to win the battle. So I am here today in front of you to ask for the same thing, to ask for your help, because it's a mission that I'm on to lead my people. I'm here to ask you to help me carry this mission and maybe pass it along, because the hope of these children depend on all of us. And I really believe that I didn't come here just to get a good education and just stay here. I came here to get ready, to get to know you guys and to work as a team, to lead these people and to equip this girl with the tools so that they can carry on. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam. Questions, feedback for you guys? Reynolds, you got a mic?
I don't think I need it. Oh, okay, I guess. Sam, one of the pictures that we saw in the video, you had a group of, I think it looked like friends of yours, maybe from school. Is that a group of people that have come over that you met here in the U.S.? Tell us about them.
Those are a group of people, like when I did graduate from Mercer, that's Mercer mission. They came there for a 3 weeks mission. So there was 10 students from Mercer that came to work with the kids. And the tutor, the staff with computer skills, and they taught the kids English. Because at the center, we don't speak any dialect. We only speak French and English.
Thank you.
Bill.
Today, how is politics in Liberia and Guinea different, if at all, from the rest of Africa?
I think Liberia, they just went through election. I think Liberia is trying to rebuild itself. It's safer, it's relatively safe. Guinea just went through a coup 2 years ago, but at this point, is at the point where it's safer. and safer is relative, but where we are is the most safe place to be, because most of the problem happen in the capital city. And remember, as a reminder, Guinea have never went through a civil war, but all the country around it has gone through a civil war. So that's why it's one of the safest place to be, because Liberia went through a civil war close by, Sierra Leone went through a civil war close by, Ivory Coast went through a civil war close by.
Sam tells us whenever board members freak out because something strange is going on in Mali, he tells us, don't be in touch with me and just worry. He says, that's Africa.
Yeah.
We're okay where we are.
Yeah.
You mentioned to me the other day that Liberia, even though Liberia is safer, they so completely destroyed their infrastructure in that long civil war. It's still just a mess administratively.
Yeah. And also like Mali, there's a terrorist, like Burkina, it happens. Guinea, we have never heard a missionary getting taken out. No, the Muslim there are very laid back. Like when we took the 10 student plus 2 teacher with us, we didn't have no problem. They went out, say hi to the neighbors, and we didn't have no problem. Never have a terrorist attack in Guinea.
At Home of Hope, for your security, we hire like not off-duty policemen, we hire off-duty military.
Yeah.
So Sam is very close to the detachment of Guinean military in the town where he is. And so they love the kids, they look after Sam, they take care of things, they provide security when you drive to the capital.
Yeah.
So Sam's tactically very smart in terms of relationships he's making over there.
Sam, can you tell the group a little bit more about the children? Because I believe are all the children that you have at Home of Hope also orphans themselves? Aren't all the children that you have at Home of Hope orphans themselves?
Yeah. Basically, what happened, most of the children, parents pass away during the crisis of Ebola, and some of them pass away because of diseases. I mean, the Guinean government don't really care about those camps because they know who live there or they're descendant of what nationalities, so they don't really care. So that's why we have to provide water, we have to take the kids. And also, we just recruited 2 little girls, and one mother stay alive, but she's an handicap. And until we got her a wheelchair, she will crawl even rainy season to go everywhere.
None of these kids know what their birthday is when they were born. So Christmas Day is their birthday every year.
So,
And Sam is the Santa Claus.
yeah.
Is there still a refugee camp in Guinea?
Yeah, but let's stay refugee camp, but you can call refugee camp when there's all those NGOs. But as soon the pull out, it's no more called refugee camp because there's no assistance. So now you have to build your own little house, and start finding to go into another village to sell. So it's not typically a camp, but if you are looking for a camp, that's what they will send you. They will say that's the camp.
So they're not seeking asylum in another country?
No, so that's why it's difficult. That's why there's a need. The asylum process have stopped, right? So the UN have moved to another thing around the world, right? So you are stuck there. Now you can't go back. Like me, I don't really know my home. Even if you take me to Liberia, I'm completely lost because I was very young when I left.
Yeah.
So you're gonna go back to what? The only solution is to assimilate there, and hopefully through education, these children will find citizenship to Guinea.
And where is your passport
My passport is here.
in the US?
Yeah.
Sam's
Because
American.
I was stateless when I got here. I didn't have no documentation. So all my documentation was built here.
Where else in the US do you get financial support?
Well, basically, my big financial support is in Atlanta, also Mercer, and we have few donors down in Florida. I think those are the 3 places. Thank you.
Any questions from our audience in Zoom land?
Yeah, Dave,
George.
I'd like to hear a little bit more about the Mercer connection, how Sam ended up at Mercer and what Mercer has been doing to support his efforts since he graduated.
Like how?
Sam, can you speak? Yeah, can you speak to how you got connected to Mercer and how you stay connected to Mercer and what your relationship is now?
So the way I stay connected to Mercer, because of course, like I did graduate there with four major in 4 years. So pretty much all my professors knew me and they kind of knew my story. So like, and then also like I did graduate there with a degree with international affairs. So like that department, you have to take a French course or like Spanish. So and I have a degree in French. So basically that department really want to send students that want to graduate with that degree. And in order for them to graduate with that degree, they have to come to Guinea and do an internship. So last time we have 2 girls that came and did the internship with us, and it was beautiful because they taught at the university, because that we know we do have connection, and they taught the kids for 3 months English and computer, and they taught at the local school where the kids were going. So that's kind of how we keep the connection with Mercer. And I was just there down there, and I met with the department. They're thinking about continuing that program. So that's how I keep up with that relationship. And then one of my French professors is on the board also.
Yep.
Sam,
Yes.
tell us some stories about the individual kids. Tell us that I think there are 16, 11, and
Yeah, there's
5, I
16.
think you said. Tell us about them. What are they doing now?
Okay, so like when 2012, I went back. So some of the kids that I took, there's Mary and David. They are about roughly now 16 going to 17. They're in 10th grade. And this year they're getting ready to take the SAT, the Guinean SAT. And 2 years they're gonna be at a university. So Mary wanna be a doctor. David wanna play soccer and wanna go to a university. The Mary, what I like about Mary is that she's taking leadership. And the beautiful thing about the family, those kids, they call each another brother and sister, and they all carry the Johnson name. So like there's a feeling, it's a home feeling. And as a refugee, until you have that, you're not home, and I got that here. So we are providing that, and we are providing also healing through this process. Because when Mary came, Mary was actually abused. So she's really afraid of knife. The women go through the excision. So she was completely, if it's her in the kitchen, she doesn't want to go. But the way she been in this program has made her come back to herself and be at ease, because each time she go back to her own camp. And when Mary goes, she goes see her friends. And just being there, she gave hope to the other girls that are there, that, you know what, here I am. I was with you. You just have to be patient and wait for your turn to be able to come at Home of Hope. Because each year we do recruit 2 girls. And the reason why we are shifting completely to have only girls is without even the chaos, without even war. In Africa, if you go to a family, you ask who can I take to school? They will say, take the boy. And even the girl will say, I don't want to go to school because I'm going to get married. So don't even try to help me. So in this process, I'm trying to change that mindset. I want to have these girls be role model, not just for Guinea, but for West Africa, and to be able to work in the government. And they'll be able to solve many problems that women are facing in those countries. And I can come back to that. One of my major at Mercer was women and gender study, because I myself really understand. Now I can have conversation with even the boys at the center, how they don't need to see a woman as an inferior, and even in my own community.
I have a question for you.
Your
Do you
turn.
plan to pass a basket around this morning? Has anybody happened to have a check in the bill?
I don't have a basket, but we'll still accept checks without the presence of a basket. So thank you, Terry. There's a basket out there.
And,
But anybody, of course, any support we receive, we would be, of course, grateful if anybody felt called to participate with Sam in his work.
and I will, if I might,
Please.
I will speak a little bit about our immediate needs. This is our 10-year anniversary, and this what we have accomplished. We have provided safety and health, established a stable home and family atmosphere, providing education. We have been teaching by example, because now these kids are serving their own community. And that's what I think Trinity taught me, and that's what I got from here, to serve. My mom was the first one to taught me that, and I think since I've been here, people have taught me that that's the best way to live. And that, by serving, have become my calling, because God wanted me to serve, and my healing went through service. So we engage with our community through our outreach program. So basically, our immediate need, we just built a new facility. We built a classroom and then a dormitory, because we're going to be getting 2 new kids will be coming in. And since 2014, we have never changed bed, nothing. So in order for us to do that, we need $14,000. And we also have a 3 to 5 years commitment, which we want, if you would like that, that will help us a lot, because that also, you get connected with us. So one of the things that you can get committed to is the $2,000 is sponsor one child, and that you get a picture. Most of you might have WhatsApp. You can email me, and we can set up a time where I can give you a tour of the center, speak to your kid that you are sponsoring. You can get a letter from them, and they can tell you what they are doing. We do each year. We also, if you want to, get involved in our outreach program, you can give toward that. It's $4,000 a year, and those are projects like Water Project, work with the leprosy, the albino, and the Muslim and orphan, and the widows. Those are the communities that we work with. And most of these communities, their children cannot go to school because of simple uniform that costs probably $20 or school supplies. So we are the center where those kids come get those goods in order for them to go to school. And we also provide sunscreen, sunglasses for the albino, because they are really an outcast. And when the sun, Guinea is like a very hot, so they can barely see. And then we provide bandage and other stuff for the, for the leprosy community. And it takes $5,000 and $850 as a tuition each year to take 16 kids to school, including uniform and school supplies the whole year. So you can get, if you really believe in education is the way out, you could invest in that program. And we use $5,000 each month to operate. And that includes salary for 30 people, and that includes staff. So basically, those are the category that if you want to donate toward that, you could. Thank you.
The thing that impresses me about Sam, it would be just enough to build an orphanage, take care of 16 kids, give them a good education, clothing, food. That'd be enough. But Sam's like, that's not enough. We live in a community. There's other things to do here. There's albinos that are outcasts. There's a leprosy colony. There's widows that need visiting and need help. Sam never says enough. He's got enough hope to spread around to this community and make a difference where he is, in spite of what he's doing with these kids. Thank you all.
Thank you, Sam.
Well, it's my pleasure. It's a tremendous blessing for me. The brochure that we passed out says Trinity November 9th. Today's not the 9th. That's just the brochure we're going to present next week at a luncheon at Trinity on Thursday. Trinity's allowed us to have a luncheon for friends, supporters, etc. So if you all would like to come to the lunch and learn more, just email me and we can make sure you get the invitation.
David, are you at this 1255 or whatever it is, West Mason?
No, that is That is the address of
1266,
Tom.
Yeah,
this is the mailbox.
yeah.
That's the mailbox. Yeah,
Then check that.
that's where
Well,
So where to check it?
Tom's wife Lori. Yeah, she's our essential. Yeah.
Thank you, David.
Thank you, Reynolds. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson.
Thanks. Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah.
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 It's a pleasure.
All right, thank you.
He'll be here next Thursday.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Sam.
All right, thank you.
Good luck to you.
All right.
I'll see you next Thursday.
Hey. Yeah.
Clark, did you win a basket visit? Okay, the address is in the. Who we, just been utterly fantastic.
Oh, thank you
You've
so
never
much.
been in school with my
Thank you.
children.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Is that right, Terry? Could have been. I think that just a little old.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Thanks, Terry. Appreciate that so much.
Yeah, when she comes.
So, yes. You too, Gary. I'll go to Thank you.
How Elena today? Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah.